I'm the Assistant Chief of the Woodstock Fire Department, and I'd like to welcome you to the first episode of our demonstration for the Shenandoah County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Recruitment Day. Our goal for today is to share with you some of the really cool things and interesting things that firefighters and EMTs do in Shenandoah County when they're volunteering to keep you safe. So today I'm at Conicville Volunteer Fire Department, Station 13. And behind me, there's crews from both Conicville and Mount Jackson Rescue and Fire, Station 21. And they've set up what's called a dump tank. So a dump tank is used, it's basically a giant canvas, almost like a pool that's set up and filled with water that we can use to fight a fire. So you can see that's behind me here with Wagon 13. And they've already filled it up with water and they're pulling the water out of it in theory to fight the fire. What happens is in areas where there aren't fire hydrants, we have issues getting water. So we set up one of these giant tanks and then bring water with us from various engines and other units that are brought up and then put in this tank, and then what's called, we draft out of this tank with an engine. So what they're doing is they're pulling water out of that with that big there's a big black hose on the front of that engine that's pulling the water out of that tank. And the water that's in that tank is also being supplied to them by their tanker unit. So over here on the right, you'll see tanker 13. It's that big one that says Conicville Volunteer Fire Department on the back. Beside that, we have another engine from Conicville and an engine from Mount Jackson. Now what's happening is we're taking water off of that tanker through that engine and supplying that dump tank. And then what happens is, as one of those tankers or one of those engines starts to get low, they'll go to another place, fill up, and then come back here. And typically, when we have a fire, we're using a lot of water. We could be flowing over 1,000 gallons a minute to fight a fire. So we'll have a lot of those engines and a lot of those tankers in operation, bringing water back and forth from what's called the fill site, where we're getting it from, which could be a creek, a pond, a river, a fire hydrant somewhere, to the area near the fire in what's called a tanker shuttle. So basically that means we're bringing water back and forth. That water then is put into that dump tank, and then that is then pumped up to the fire. This whole thing is called rural water supply, which means rural water supply is you're operating in an area that doesn't have any tankers. Now, this may be what you see in if you're driving down the road and this is all set up and you're wondering what's going on. Basically, this is us getting enough water to fight a fire. You can tell there's a lot of people back here making this work. There's the driver of the supply unit over here. There's people that have to set up that dump tank, that have to run the hoses and everything that come off of there. There's the people driving all those tankers and engines that are going back and forth from the fire or the fill site to the fire. There's people at that fill site that are supplying those units. So it takes a lot of people to manage that. And we have dedicated volunteers who have gone through some extensive training in how to make that incredibly efficient so that we can maximize the amount of water that's brought to a fire. And even the people that drive the units undergo special training in how to not only drive, but how to pump, how to get water out of places like rivers and creeks, or how to draft it out of that dump tank, how fire hydrants work, and all that other stuff. So, and these are people behind me that have all different types of professions. A lot of them who drive the units are truck drivers or have driven big rigs sometimes in their profession. So they're able to take those skills and transfer them over to what we're doing. Now what's happening, we're doing today is we're actually just flowing an attack line with that the water that we're drafting out of here. So we're going to actually pivot around and show you that we've got some firefighters that are working. You can see this hand line here flowing. You can see some of Conicville's other units. And behind here you can see some people that are flowing water out of that hose line. And Conicville is actually in the process of getting a new tanker to replace this one. So they just ordered one a couple months ago, and they have one on order that's going to come here soon to replace this other tanker. So they're looking for the community support to help with that. But there's all kinds of ways you can fill in as a volunteer to help with these, even if you don't want to go inside of a fire. A lot of firefighters and stuff back us up in providing this essential service. So we're going to take just a minute now and talk to two of the people that are involved with this. With me now is Leslie Ludwig, who's the chief of Conicville Volunteer Fire Department, and Chris Tusing, who's the captain from Mount Jackson Rescue and Fire. So, Leslie, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Leslie Ludwig, I'm the chief of Conicville Fire Department. Thank you all for tuning in today. I've been chief here for off and on for the past 10 years. Been in the fire service for 41 years, and started so long ago, don't know why, but it's become a way of life. This is what I do every day. Love it. Everybody should do it.
Thank you, Leslie.
Hi, my name is Chris Tusing. I'm the EMS captain at Mount Jackson Rescue and Fire Department. It doesn't matter if you want to make a career out of this or if you want to be a volunteer. This is the absolute best job in the world. I encourage you to get involved and put in an application today.
All right. And if you are interested in serving in one of these capacities, as long as one of these great people that are here with me today, you can go to scfr.net to find out opportunities and to fill out an application or to learn more information. Again, that's scfr.net or any of the Facebook pages or anything of the volunteer companies. And we thank you again for joining us, and we'll be back at 12:30 with some more demonstrations. Have a great day.